I'm going to touch upon some nagging thoughts, especially in the minds of the younger generation in particular. Uh, Being myself, I joined the company in 2009 and I have still have 23 years of leftover service in me. So some of the younger generation are wondering why this strike and why we should participate in this one day strike. Among others, one of the foremost demands of JFTU and UAOA along with Confed is opposition of privatization. So even though the company to be privatized is yet to be announced or yet to be decided, it is our primary duty to fight at the infancy stage itself. And as a corollary to this demand, as a natural extension, JFTU's other demand is to repeal the Jibna Amendment Act, which was passed in 2021. Some very few contra-thinking youngsters in our own PSGI companies are seem to be not bothered about our companies getting privatized. We have even met and spoken with some of these friends who feel they are immune to ownership change, and even some go to the extreme of welcoming this privatization move. So, just we wanted to touch upon few points for your contemplation and on the possible side effects of privatization. It won't just stop with just one company to be privatized. In the remaining three companies are going to be safe and immune for further acts of privatization. It would be only a matter of months before the next one goes under the hammer. And then go the next one. So it is like our house is on fire. Unless we firefight at the initial stage itself, soon the entire village would be gutted. Then the important point is our entire lifestyle will be taking a hit. Many of our younger generation might have already worked in the private sector, or at least have experienced vicariously by seeing their friends, cousins, or their brothers and sisters working in the private sector. Starting from 6 days of work in a week to stringent dress code, obligation to be on service on call 24 by 7, and strict leave sanctioning, and many more such rules, and our present lifestyle will definitely take a hit, including our family. And we may have to act on the whims and fantasies of our bosses too. Another important side effect may be like salaries would be fixed arbitrarily. As a consequence of the previous point, our salary structure would no longer be equal and would be fixed arbitrarily based on the personal rapport we have with our bosses, even after working sincerely and putting in our 100%. And the known obvious reason, that is job security. Majority of the our youngsters have joined this company mainly as job security, since they may feel safe that they will be till retirement since we be there. And as a consequence of all these factors, our mental health would be drastically affected. And the primary and important reason is social justice. Social justice would be thrown out of the window and no longer reservations for SC/STs and socially backward classes. And even other things, even this all may be a kind of self-centered one. The important things we have to think even in national interest and patriotic perspective. PSUs are now acting like high-speed breakers for the rampant mis-selling, mispricing, misbehavior, and profit only attitude of the private players. Even though we could not completely block, there are only private players are majorly occupied by private players, then profit will only be their motive, and they would not provide insurance to rural and other marginalized section of people. In turn, depriving crores of Indians toothless tigers just watching them. We can even see that in telecom sector too. So these are the effects of privatization, why we must oppose and why we must participate. And coming to wage revision, and even feeling guilty to demand wage revision. Please do not develop any such guilt for demanding our wage revision. This demand of ours is 100% genuine, and note that this is already offered to other government departments, PSUs, LICs and banks. This is just an illusion that we children would start go and they would be entering higher education. Soon we will be getting the family baton passed from our father and we would feel the financial pressure. Stop looking at the wages on just the absolute terms. Compare it with other PSU and government departments and our friends working in private sector. You will soon realize the monumental gap between our salary and what the friends and other sectors are getting. We should feel from our inner heart that our demand is just and fair. Only then we can wholeheartedly participate in this strike rather than out of compulsion that my fellow mates are doing, recommending this. Our joint forum unions are coming and asking us. We should come from our own inner heart. And we plead you with folded hands. Do not attend office or take leave tomorrow when thousands of your friends are striking their work and sacrificing their one day's salary for the universal benefit of all. And that all includes you and me and all. Isn't it our moral responsibility to desist from savoring a food when our neighbors are hungry? And more fight is on the cards as we may have to demand for merger of PSGAs for long-term benefit of all, which going to benefit our younger generation a lot. We, on behalf of AOA and JFTU, earnestly appeal you all to make tomorrow's strike call a grand success and let us make this total shutdown in all our offices. Though this nationwide strike is appeal for 15 constituents in JFTU, as it was said, around 12 to 13 constituents are already in favor of that. We'll make our owners realize the need for repealing the Jibna Amendment Act and go ahead with the much awaited wage revision. I'm sure that with our joint struggle, we can realize our just and fair demand. Thank you for giving this opportunity.